and he very forcibly tells her to get in the car, or tells her to get in the Carl.
Get in the car, El. Carl. Carl!
Welcome back, readers. I am Robin. I'm your uncle. Ever had a friend so close that you felt like twins? Ever made rules for that friendship at age 6 and then weirdly expect those rules to follow you into your teens? Ever based your life on these rules that a literal 6-year-old came up with and then wonder why your life and friendship are on the rocks? If you're anything like Elle Evans, all of these things have happened to you. This week, we're going to be tackling The Kissing Booth, written by Beth Riekels. The Kissing Booth is about Elle Evans and her best friend, Lee Flynn. They are friends since childhood. Elle realizes that she has feelings for Lee's brother, Noah, and when they kiss at a kissing booth, her relationship with Lee becomes tested as she decides whether or not she wants to pursue things with Noah. The Kissing Booth stars Joey King, Jacob Elordi,
I love you. I love you. I love you. I love you. I love you.
and Joel Courtney.
Lonnie, be honest with me, man. You're really here. Are you really here?
Also, special shout-outs to Molly Ringwald.
They fucking forgot my birthday.
The Kissing Booth is a Netflix original, so that means that it's going to be a bit of a mixed bag. Okay, so here's a content warning. There is one gross bodily fluid scene, and there are a couple of SA situations, so please be aware of that. So, without further ado, this is The Kissing Booth. So, we get a lot of information early on. We meet Elle and Lee. Elle and Lee are born on the same day, in the same hospital. Their mothers are best friends. Growing up, they both love Dance Dance Revolution. They don't call it that because copyright. Elle's mom gets sick and she has to stay at the hospital. This isn't important, but look at this bra that they gave this 10-year-old. You want me to believe that this is the correct size for her? It would have fit my old boobs. It's too big. So I was actually starting to enjoy this movie. I liked the fast-paced sort of Baz Luhrmann kind of feel that it gave. And then something gross happens 2 minutes, 52 seconds in. She gets sneezed on and it's disgusting. So if that's something that grosses you out like it grosses me out, I would suggest you just skip over that. Suffice it to say, this part was not in the book. So Elle's mom dies. They kind of gloss over it and go to present day. It's the day before the first day of school. Lee and Elle are juniors, and in walks Lee's older brother, Noah. Noah goes by Flynn because their last name is Flynn, but Elle calls him Noah, even though he hates it. And he calls her Shelly, even though she hates it. They play a bad cover of OK Go's You're So Damn Hot, which annoys me because the OK Go version is much better, but it's probably a lot more expensive. And so here is where we get the list of rules. Now, these are rules that Lee and Elle came up with when they were 6. So clearly it's something that they should use to dictate the rest of their lives, right? It should be mentioned that in the book, there are no rules. The choices that Elle makes are simply because she is afraid to talk to Lee about how she feels, but they needed a little more toxicity because it's Netflix. So my thought on rules, I'm not a huge fan of rules when it comes to relationships. Like if someone's like, hey, don't go swimming because there's no lifeguard on duty, like, okay, fine, you know? Or please wait in line to be served, you know, because otherwise it's fucking chaos. Like, I get that. I get those kinds of rules. I'm autistic, so I do need rules. But when it comes to relationships, boundaries are great. Rules are not. So, for example, a boundary is, I do not like wearing bikinis. They make me uncomfortable. A rule is, I don't want you to wear a bikini because it makes me uncomfortable. We get a lot of rules throughout the story. It kind of like fills out the world, but the idea that you should live your life by these rules is kind of silly. Anyway, so rule number 9 is you can't date your best friend's relatives. So, i.e., Noah is off the table. In the book, Lee can actually tell that Elle has a thing for Noah and kind of teases her about it and even like tells her to go for it here and there. I'm not sure whether it's supposed to be like facetious, but you know, it is addressed in the book. Lee and Elle have this club called Dance Club. I feel like playing DDR is not dance, but okay. And for Dance Club, they have to come up with a booth for their carnival. It's like a fundraiser carnival that they do at the school. So Noah and Lee talk about Elle's boobs for literally no goddamn reason.
When did you get the boobs?
It was almost like she was on human growth hormones or something.
The movie is a lot more cringe than the book, I will say. which is not surprising because it's Netflix and you guys know how I feel about Netflix. I feel like Netflix is a real mixed bag, y'all. And they all kind of like laugh and play and, you know, everything is so great and they're all so happy. There's like lots of scenes of Elle and Lee just like laughing. To kind of really hammer home that they have, you know, this great friendship and they're, you know, so happy with their friendship and whatever. So it is the first day of school and Elle rips her pants. So she has to wear this very short skirt that she has not worn since the 9th grade. So 2 years ago. And it barely fits her. It is very short. Honestly, she's gonna get written up for this outfit regardless. So I feel like she should have just worn jeans rather than wearing this like super short skirt that she looks really uncomfortable in. But then we wouldn't have the next couple of scenes. So they arrive at school and everybody, just everyone is looking at Elle like she is some kind of hot mamacita. I have never used that word and I'm never gonna use it again.
A word I have never used before and hopefully never will again.
She's some like, you know, she's hot shit apparently, because her lady shape has changed over the summer or whatever. Okay, so this chud named Tuppen comes up and touches her butt, and Lee comes in and tells him to quit it because that is the appropriate response to someone sexually harassing someone. But before Lee can get into a fight, Noah steps in and he just decks Tuppen right in the face. Also, what kind of a fucking name is Tuppen? Sweet Tuppen Cakes. By the way, this school uniform is absolutely hideous. You got the yellow from the old Wendy's napkins as a shirt. I've never had a school uniform. I did have like school colors back when I was in elementary school, but that was like really not heavily enforced. But yeah, I would fucking hate wearing these clothes. They're friggin' ugly. Elle, Noah, and Tuppen are all sent to the principal's office. So Elle gets annoyed with Noah. Apparently Noah doesn't start fights, he only finishes them. This is also from the book. I don't know. I feel like if you come in to a shouting argument and you're throwing hands, to me that's you started a fight. Noah basically calls her his younger sister and then tells her that dressed like that, she is asking for it. Go to hell. Elle explains that Tuppen, quote, touched my lady bum.
Do touch my lady bum.
The fuck? I'm sorry. Am I just like out of touch or do people actually fucking talk like this? He gives Elle detention for breaking the dress code and that's it. Like I said, she should have just worn what she wanted to wear and then gotten written up for that. Then she could have been comfortable while flouting the law. Okay, so it is now lunchtime and there are these 3 girls who come in that are apparently like super popular. They're called the OMG girls. Olivia, Mia, and Gwyneth. I do not know which one are which, so don't ask me because I do not know. So they have Elle sit with them at lunch, which is like a big deal, apparently.
On Wednesdays, we wear pink.
And they want to ask about Noah, or Flynn. And they want to know whether Elle and Noah have kissed yet for some reason. So that's it. They're like interested in Flynn and they want to know what like Elle's relationship to him is. But this is the first time they've talked to her, so I don't really know what is supposed to have inspired this. But I digress. Well, after school, Lee and Elle are trying to figure out what booth to do for the carnival fundraiser. And it's last minute, so like nothing's available. And they come up with an idea for a disease spreading booth. I mean, kissing booth.
More like your open mouth kissing booth.
I don't know how I feel about kissing booths. I only ever see kissing booths in like TV shows and movies and like Archie comics. Has anyone ever actually been to or seen or like worked a kissing booth? Just keep blending, just keep blending, just keep blending. Blendin', blendin'.
Blendin', blendin'.
So it's now detention. So they went shopping after school and then there was detention? Anyway, Tuppen is also there and he sends Elle a note. And the note says, "What do I have to do to get a date with you?" And she replies, and the next thing we know, Tuppen is wearing her skirt. Oh, I guess it had to be a different day because she needed to be wearing pants so that he can put the skirt on. Okay. I feel you. I get it now. None of this happened in the book, by the way. I don't even think there's a character named Tuppen in the book. I think his name is like Mark or some shit. I don't know. Something less weird than Tuppen. So he puts on her skirt and does like a fashion show to Oh Mickey You're So Fine. Again, another cover. This one I get because Oh Mickey You're So Fine is like from the 80s, so I understand them wanting to like do like a cover, something that's a little more up to date. And then she says it was a nice apology, which I don't see an apology. I didn't hear him apologize. So, okay. Anyway, so he asks if she can go on a date with him, and she says yes. And this is apparently Elle's first date. This is the first time anyone's even asked her out on a date. And it seems like Lee is like super happy for her, which is nice. It's one of the rules. You have to be happy for your like best friend, which again is like dictating someone's feelings. I'm not in love with that, but so Lee in his supportiveness drops Elle off for her date. It's mentioned at some point that he is the only one out of the two of them that drives, so he kind of like drives her everywhere. They also live like a block away from each other. What is this dress? Where are you going to like a benefit or like a club? Anyway, she gets stood up, and so she meets up with Lee later. I'm not really familiar with Los Angeles or like Venice Beach, but I get the impression that this is kind of on the boardwalk, this area that they hang out in and play DDR. Or whatever, dance game revolution. So in the book, Noah actually drives her to the date, and he just kind of stands there and stares daggers at the guy when he shows up. But they do actually end up going on the date. But here, nope, she gets stood up. So later on, she meets up with Lee and plays Dance Dance Whatever with him. And Tuppen actually comes, and he tells Elle that he was threatened by Noah to not go on the date with her. And apparently he has been telling this to all of the boys for a little while now. He's been like telling them to kind of leave her alone and like not ask her to date them or whatever, basically dictating her life. It's overbearing, it's controlling, it's gross. So Elle calls Noah and gives him shit because rightly so. And he calls her kiddo.
Hello, kiddo.
It's like, he's infantilizing her, but while also like trying to control her, he's acting like overbearing, like father or brother, which he isn't. So I know that we're supposed to, see this as like almost an enemies to lovers kind of thing, but why is he belittling her like this? It doesn't make any sense to me. So it's time to pitch the fundraiser, and the head of student council has a really cheesy, fake British accent.
Next proposal is from the dance club. Elle Evans and Lee Flynn.
I mean, my British accent is better than this. Kind of reminds me of Charlize Theron in The School for Good and Evil. So they pitch the kissing booth. Everybody loves it. Yay. So it's time for brunch with the Flynns. They let slip at the table that Noah got detention on his first day, and when Elle's father asks him what it was for, he actually covers for her, and she was surprised by that. This smells like roses. It's really lovely. It's 2-in-1 luminous tint foundation. So Elle is getting ready for the party that the Flynns are going to be having because their parents are going to be out of town, and Noah was like, I don't want you to come, and she's like, fuck you, I'm coming anyway. And she puts on makeup very badly. I know from putting on makeup badly. She can't put on her lipstick. She's using the wrong product on her eyelids.
You haven't talked to anybody and you're putting lipstick on your eyelids.
So cut to the party. This extra's walking super weird. So I'm guessing this extra didn't know that she had to walk on grass. So the OMG girls go straight up to Elle, and they are acting very stiff. And who the hell wrote this dialogue?
I love this hoe!
So they ask Elle if she is getting Noah to do the kissing booth, and she's like, oh, I don't want to bother him, and they kind of insist. So she goes up to Noah, who is making out with some girl, and so Elle keeps trying to interrupt them, and the girl, she bops her on the head and says, Easy Bake Oven is downstairs. What does that mean? Is that slang that I'm missing? It's been a little while since I've been in high school, but is there something I should know about Easy Bake Ovens? So Noah tells what's her name to leave, and she overreacts. No, she overacts. So she asks Noah to do the kissing booth, and he says no, but she lies to everyone and says that he's gonna do it, because why not? So they start all drinking, and a bad cover of Safety Dance comes on, which again, just do the original. And Elle gets smashed and starts dancing on a table. This does happen in the book. So she tries to convince everyone to go skinny dipping, and this creepy dude takes her picture, claiming it's for the yearbook. Who invited this narc? So all of the kids start to skinny dip, but by skinny dip, they understood it to be in your pants or your bra and underwear, which is not skinny dipping, but that's fine with me because they are children. So Elle, before she gets a chance to go in the pool, gets carried off, and then she passes out. So she wakes up in Noah's room the next day. A subtle pan over to his cup, which says size XL. Nice. So in the book, she hurls most of the night, and Noah actually like stays with her and holds her hair and stuff. Here he just kind of carts her off and leaves her in his room. So she tries to like hide from him because she's only wearing his shirt, and then she gets tangled up in the curtain, and then they start rolling around on the floor together because it's a rom-com, so there's an obligatory like weird touching session, and before he gets up, she grabs his crotch accidentally. So she leaves the room, and Lee tells her that she told everyone that Noah is going to do the kissing booth. So the next day at school, the OMG girls ask her to sit with them again, and she manipulates them into working the kissing booth by saying that Noah has a crush on one of them and wants to see them there. Apparently they would have done it anyway. You're one of us, girl. So they're painting the kissing booth, and Lee just completely douses Elle in paint, like a ridiculous amount, but magically her shoes stay perfectly white. So she goes in the locker room to change, and she takes her shirt off to wash her face. I don't know why that was necessary, but okay. But oops, she's in the boys' locker room. So Noah's there and tells her to leave, not so nicely, and she tells him to shove it, and then starts like dancing around for the boys. Creepo yearbook guy takes another picture. So it is the day of the fair, and Elle asks Noah, doesn't want to do the kissing booth, to like at least stop by, and he says this like passive aggressive thing about how Elle doesn't want anyone interfering in her life, but she's asking him for help. Yeah, that's how consent works. I wouldn't want a firefighter to just come to my house and start chopping stuff if there wasn't a fire.
That's some nice chopping.
That doesn't mean that I wouldn't potentially still want the fire department to come if there actually was a fire. Anyway, so apparently there's a twist to the kissing booth in that the people who will be doing the kissing are going to be wearing blindfolds. I have no idea why. There's no blindfold in the book. It's weird. I don't get it. So they're not supposed to be any tongue kisses, but we see one tongue kiss after another, after another, after another. And it's not like they're choosing who they want to slip some tongue because they can't see who it is. Then Ollie, who was one of the kissing booth people, pays to kiss somebody else. We didn't get enough kisses.
Lips off a kissing.
In my opinion, the kissing part lasts way too long. I'm sorry. It's too long. We gotta get to the next part. So it's time to put Flynn, but Flynn, or Noah, did not agree. So she puts up Lee Flynn, and a bunch of people get really mad. They like rip up their tickets and they walk off. It's so mean. But one girl uses her ticket and kisses him. I think her name's Rachel. Okay, this part was actually cute. I actually like that part. So time goes on, and the blonde OMG girl, again, I don't know which one she is, she doesn't want to kiss the next guy in line, which, again, if you're wearing a blindfold, how do you know who the next person in line is? She lies and says that it's her ex-boyfriend, but apparently it's like some, I don't know, less than handsome dude, and so they ask Elle to do it for her. So in the book, it turns out that the next person in line was Noah, and that she was too nervous to kiss him because she had a huge crush on him. But anyway, Elle goes out, and the next guy in line gives Noah cutsies.
What?
Cutsies.
So Noah goes up to Elle, and she gives this like monologue on how she is a kissing virgin.
Truth be told, I've never kissed
Ron
anyone
Gettler in the
before.
6th grade
Years
during
spring
7
fling,
minutes, and I was
a romantic
dancing.
song came
Randy
on, and I was like,
Melrose.
oh, what's gonna happen? But until...
And then he finally just kisses her, and he looks so uncomfortable. He's like 6'2", and he's bending down to her 5'3", but they kiss, and Elle is freaked out. He says it's only a kiss. So Elle finds Lee and tells him, and he looks like someone just like kicked him in the shins. Like he's being a big shithead about it. In the book, he's all, ooh, you guys kiss, maybe there's something going on. But here he's just like, rule 9, meh. So like he and Noah are both super controlling of her, but like in different ways. She's like, it's for charity, chill out. And so he has to chill out because, you know, it was your idea. It's for charity, like, okay? And he's like, don't ever sleep with Noah or I'll never talk to you again. So it's the end of the carnival and it starts to rain, but Lee has run off with Rachel.
Take thee, Rachel.
So Noah comes up to her on his bike and offers her a lift home. But as they're driving, it is getting too rainy, so he brings her to this park and into a gazebo. And Elle kisses him. Good for you, girl. It's the 21st century. Girls can kiss boys. So she pulls away and she's like, I don't want to be one of your conquests. So Noah's like, oh, you're the only girl who doesn't fall at my feet, and I like that. You're not like other girls. Barf. She's sweet, he says, and she calls him out on his bullshit. This is more or less identical to the book. And they kiss again, but he has to like kneel down to reach her level. And then they are interrupted by the groundskeeper, who was like, I thought I told you to stop bringing girls here. And Elle is like, you bastard. Elle is pissed because he brought her to like one of his hookup spots, but she's still like in the middle of nowhere. So she lets him drive her home, and that's that. That's the end of the night. So we hear about rule number 6. If you can't tell your friend what you're doing, then chances are good you shouldn't be doing it. That is weird. You want to tell me I have to tell my best friend when I'm pooping or something? Just like no boundaries. Don't like it. Okay, so it's time for a beach party. I get the impression that these kids don't go to school. They just friggin' party all the time. Party all the time, party all the time, party all the time. They all have fun. It's a nice time. They're drinking, they're slipping, sliding. Everything is good. But then this dude named Warren goes up to Elle, tries to get her to go into the hot tub, you know, more or less referencing when she was talking about skinny dipping. And she politely declines. And he starts to like pull and tug at her, and she is like starting to more and more vehemently say no thank you. And then here comes Noah and tells him to back off, but Warren has to get another shot in, and so Noah tackles him. And now it's at this point that everybody like kind of acts like the night has been ruined, but it's like, hey man, you killed the vibe. I feel like the vibe should have been killed when this dude was trying to get a girl to do something against her will and she was like crying out no. That should have been the vibe killer, not the person who is stopping it. But I digress. I mean, I get it. They're supposed to try to like establish that Noah really likes to fight. I get that. In the book, Warren was drunk and was trying to get her to kiss him, and she was kind of wriggling out of the way, but he was like super drunk, and Noah hits him so hard that people think that his nose is broken and they take him to the hospital. So in that sense, yeah, I think that was like excessive, but this is not, in my opinion. But maybe I woke up and chose violence. So Elle storms off, and Noah goes after her, and he very forcibly tells her to get in the car, or tells her to get in the Carl.
Get in the car, Elle. Car, Elle. Car, Elle.
All jokes aside, this is alarming. Even more alarming, he does not take her home. He takes her to the Hollywood sign, like looks at the city of Los Angeles. She set some rules. You know how I feel about rules, but I get it. Like, at least it's something that she came up with now and not when she was 6. Rule number 1, Noah can't get into fights anymore. Rule number 2, he can't tell her what to do anymore. And rule number 3, nobody can find out about their situationship. I don't like this. If you can't be open and honest about a relationship, then maybe you should just leave it. You know, if you're like ashamed of someone that you're dating, or you think that they're ashamed of you, or you think that you're going to hurt somebody, maybe just leave it. Or have a conversation with that person. Be like, listen, Lee, your brother and I have feelings. I know that there's a rule, but like, we're adults, or almost adults. They're like 17, 18. So it's like, listen, you know, you want me to be happy? Yes. So, but no, they don't do that. They have sex. Noah's all, oh, we don't have to, but they do. I think this is a terrible place to have sex for the first time. They're outside, they're in the grass, it is cold, they're covered in sand, it's all dirty, and nope, not interested. No, thank you. No. Gross. Gross. I wonder if having sex on a national monument is a thing. It probably is.
Hey, Jefferson, check it out. Chick getting nailed on my head.
And it was right around here that I noticed that Joey King's hair looks messy in every single scene. One day they're making out in Noah's room, and his mom comes in, so she rolls under the bed. And she lets slip that Noah has been accepted to an Ivy League school. It turns out he's gotten accepted to Harvard. In the book, they kind of talk about how he like does all these extracurriculars and how he's really good in school, and how, you know, the school kind of turns a blind eye to his fighting so long as he does all of the like school spirit stuff and does well in, I think, football. So rather than, you know, tell Lee that she came by early, they they throw her off the roof onto a trampoline. So she's just like bouncing on the trampoline and then somehow ends up in the pool. That's not how physics works. I feel like this is a lot less subtle than, oh yeah, hey, I was upstairs waiting for you. So Elle and Noah are riding his motorcycle for like the 6th time. In the book, she rides it maybe 2 times because she hates it. She is terrified of it. So there's this like montage of them, you know, having like a relationship and getting into shenanigans and like falling in love. They have a lot of sex. In the book, they have sex 1 time, and Elle tells Noah that she more or less regrets it because she doesn't want to feel like she's like another one of his, you know, conquests, which is more or less what she said in the gazebo, but also because like she is sneaking around behind Lee's back and she kind of feels bad about that. We have another cover of Love Grows Where My Rosemary Goes. Ew, they have sex in the classroom? Ew, 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 ew. So Elle and Lee are playing DDR, and Lee basically points out that Elle has been acting weird. And he's like, oh, is it because you don't have a date to prom? And Elle's like, yes, that's it. So they all decide to go to prom together. So Noah's fixing his bike and he needs a tool. So Elle goes to get it, but she falls and hurts her cheek. And so Noah is taking care of her and she's like, how do you know how to treat wounds like this? And he's like, well, you know, I get into a lot of fights, so I need to know first aid. And that is a huge red flag. You should not be so used to administering first aid to yourself because of the sheer amount of times you get into fights. He says he's been to counselors, but we're all fucked up in our own way, right? No, that's not right. There are tons of people who are upset about the way of the world who don't solve the problems with their fists. Elle says that she thinks that he can change, and he's like, really? Sure, yes, I agree. People can change, but it is not your responsibility to change him. It never was. And he needs to recognize first that there is something that needs to be changed. So Lee comes in and sees her face and immediately asks Noah if he hit her. And that is a concern to me because there is one of 2 possibilities. Number 1, Lee is so overprotective of Elle that he's willing to pick a fight because he thinks that someone hurt her. Or 2, he knows something that Elle doesn't, that Noah is so violent that he can potentially see him hitting his best friend. So Lee asks Elle directly, is there something going on between the 2 of you? And she's like, no. And when he's downstairs, she goes back into Noah's room where he asks her to prom. And she's really happy and she kisses him, and Lee comes in and sees them kissing and shit hits the fan. Lee is pissed. So Elle goes after him and tells Noah to stay and let her handle it. And they're fighting outside, and of course Noah comes out, and Lee basically tells Noah that he's treating Elle like a slut, which, what? He's like, oh, you know, tell me that you're not, you know, having sex with her. And like, okay, so what if he is having sex with her? Why is having consensual sex treating someone like a slut? Is it because they hid it from you? Because obviously they had a good reason, because you are being so not cool about it. When it was in the book, when Noah wanted to hide it, so they lied to him because Elle decided that they were going to lie. And so he's like, you 2 are like sneaking around and you're not really respecting each other, and I don't like that. So I get that. But here it's like, of course they hid it from you. Look at the way that you're reacting. Not to say that they should have lied, because they shouldn't have, but I can understand why. So just by the way, telling someone that they're a slut for having consensual sex is treating them like a slut, not having sex with them. Just letting you know, Lee. He's not treating her like a slut. You are. And they get into a fist fight, of course. So Noah pins Lee down to calm him down. Let me just tell you, that is not the way to do it, okay? Just like let him storm off, let him, you know, have his thing. Do not try to physically restrain him. That is not a way to calm someone down. That is a way to control them. Again, you're both very controlling, but you see, he doesn't start fights, he finishes them. So Lee is about to storm off, and Elle is like, I wanted to tell you, I didn't know how. And he says this really gross possessive thing where it's like, Noah grew up getting everything that he wanted. The only thing I had that he didn't was you. Cool. So she's like a toy. She's like a toy that Noah wanted to play with, and you didn't want him to get to play with it because he gets to play with all the toys. She's a person. You are just as bad as he is. So Noah comes outside, and Elle rips him a new one, says that he made everything worse and that he wanted to fight, and so she just kind of tells him to leave her alone, and he's like, all right. A couple of weeks go by, and Lee is ignoring Elle. Noah has barely been in school. Harvard doesn't look too kindly on truants, Mr. Flynn. So at some point, Elle remembers Rule 7, which is you have to forgive your best friend if they give you ice cream, and Lee just throws it in the trash, because again, that's not how life works. You can't just tell someone they have to forgive you, because if they don't forgive you, they don't forgive you. They might never forgive you, and you have to be okay with that. But even though he didn't forgive her for giving him ice cream, he did forgive her with dance. He's playing DDR and he puts in a second batch of coins and they dance together and they reconcile through dance. It's nice. They have this like routine where they like turn around and they switch places and they like have all these moves. And I would love to read them for doing that, but I 100% did this when I was a kid. 100%. We were losers, but at the arcade, we were gods. So it's time for junior prom. In the book, Noah shows up to her house and asks her to go to prom with him, and she says yes without telling Lee. So the bad British speaker comes up and talks about the prom theme is memories, which, what a groundbreaking theme. Never would have thought of that. I guess it's better than Long Story Short, where their theme was remembering 9/11. Yeesh. So they play another bad cover of Don't You Forget About Me that is famously from The Breakfast Club with Molly Ringwald. They recreated the kissing booth for some reason. Why are they acting like it was such a big thing? It was not. So they all start clapping for Lee and Elle, and it's giving, and everyone clapped.
And everyone clapped.
She's like, the kissing booth meant something and everyone would remember it. Why though? So Noah comes up and basically professes his love for Elle and asks her what she wants. And this is a really important thing to ask yourself, because if you're just doing things because other people want you to do them, then you might find that you're not able to answer that question for yourself, and it's important. This also kind of happens in the book, except Lee like supports them and they start dating and that's kind of it. But she deflects and leaves. So Noah goes to talk to Lee and he's surprisingly mature about it. So he's basically going to go to Boston early so that he can, set up his place in Harvard and basically be away from Elle. It is time for Elle and Lee's birthday party because, as you recall, they have the same birthday. He dresses up as I guess it's Batman. I guess it's from like the early, like the Dark Knight Batman or Dark Knight Rises Batman. And she dresses like, I don't know. I know it's supposed to be Catwoman, but she does not look like Catwoman here in my opinion. But she's got like a huge bump it. So, maybe she's trying to be Catwoman from like the 60s or something. But he's definitely Batman from the new Batmans with Christian Bale. She finally tells Lee he doesn't have the right to tell her who she wants to be with and that she wants to be with Noah. And she confesses to being in love with him, and Lee is surprisingly supportive. He's like, you know what? He's off in Boston. Let's go find him. It's time to go find Flynn. So Elle starts driving the car, which doesn't make sense to me because she's never driven. We don't see her driving. We don't see her passing her driver's license. In the book, it talks about how bad a driver she is, but okay, she's driving. And so she's driving Lee's car and Lee is in the passenger seat. Or so you think. Oh, he's wearing a mask. Superhero rules. You cannot tell who he is. He reveals that it is Noah and she almost crashes the car. The way that she was not able to tell that it was him, fine. It's a movie. And then they continue their relationship until it's time to drop him off at the airport, and she drives away in his motorcycle, which again makes no sense because she can barely drive a car, let alone a different class vehicle like a motorcycle, but okay. And that's the end of the movie. I got to admit, I didn't hate it. I didn't hate it as much as I thought I would. I didn't hate the book. The book was fine. I think that maybe if I had read it when I was younger, I would have enjoyed it more because I am not the target demo, clearly, but I thought it was cute. Noah in the book had a little bit more of a character arc in that he realized that he had to be less controlling and he had to be more, mature and all these things. And like he does this like grand gesture for her and he tries to prove to her that he has changed and he proves to like her father and all that stuff. This is not really in this, but from what I understand, there are 2 other books and 2 other movies. So maybe that happens more later. The movie was a lot funnier than the book. The book was just kind of straightforward. The movie it had a lot more like gimmicks and I personally enjoyed it. I enjoyed Joey King's performance. I like Jacob Elordi. I didn't particularly have any qualms with the movie's acting. Overall, I think I might like this movie. I don't know what to say. I'm sorry. What do you guys think? Did you like the movie? Did you think that it was true to the book? Would you even watch it? Thanks so much for tuning into my channel. Please remember to like and subscribe. It is a great way to support me and it doesn't cost you a thing. If you want to check out my link tree, you can see what I'm doing on the socials. I also have a jewelry line that I'm launching that you can see down below. Feel free to send my channel to people that you think like queer stuff, like books, like movies, and like makeup. It is finally spring, you guys. So my schedule is going to be getting a little more hectic soon, so I may start going back to every 2 weeks. And in the meantime, be queer. Read books. Bye. L Evans. Oh, fuck. Kissing booth. Kissing booth. Take your time. Why am I singing Christmas carols? She's gonna get written up for her costume no matter what. Or, not costume, what's the word? Her outfit? No. Very nice. Girlactik, who's making out with some chick. So apparently there's a twist to the kissing booth. There's a twist. In my opinion, is sheep him. But I digress. I don't know. Oh, there was a football game. Oh well. Love grows where my rosemary goes. There you go. Love grows where my rosemary goes. Itchy. With Molly Ringwald.